Genesis chapter 21, verse 9, 10, and 11, it said, And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, which she had borne unto Abraham, mocking. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, Cast out this bondwoman and her son, for the son of this bondwoman will not be here with my son, even with Isaac. And my remark for you today is cast out the bondwoman and her son. Now we need to remember that Ishmael was not the promised child. The promised child was Isaac. And Ishmael was created out of anxiety. And so now the promised seed was now in place. The promise which God had made now come to fulfillment. What are you supposed to do with the decision that you have made before? You have to cast it out. You see, the flesh will always mock or persecute the promise because it always acts as an opposition. It sees the promise as foolishness or a waste of time. Therefore, there must be a separation and clean platform for the promise to grow, free from mocking, free from discouragement, and free from torment. The promise cannot grow around the bondage. Blessing cannot be mixed with anything else. The promise of God cannot be mixed with fleshy feelings or our own thoughts. It had to remain pure and in line. That which is not a blessing, that which is not the promise of God, will always try to mock and discourage what is. So, how do you separate your promises from the bondage, from your own decision, from your own anxiety, what you have created? Because you need to understand that no outsider shall share in the blessing of the promise. You have to send it away. You have to cast them out. You have to cast out the bondwoman and her child. They cannot occupy the same space with blessing. And let me tell you why. It will discourage you. It will hold you back. It will envy you. It will mock you. It will always try to show dominion and belittle you. It will kill your vision. It will delay your promise. It will rob you of your future. And so, what you have to do is you have to cast them out, for they will not share in the inheritance of the promised seed. They cannot share in the inheritance of the promise. And a lot of times we try to include people in our promise which God have already cast out. So personally, you have to cast out some family members who have been suffocating you. You have to cast out some friends who have been discouraging you. You have to cast out some acquaintance who have been envying you under disguise. You have to cast out some past relationship or things which has been feeding off you. You have to cast out some expectation which has paralyzed you. The blessing and the curse, the blessing and the curse, the promise and the flesh cannot grow in the same environment. It feeds off two different things. And so the promise of God have to remain resolute. It has to stand by itself. And so today, for the promise to come true in your life, you have to nurture it. And the blessing which God has given unto you, you have to separate some people from it, so that it can come to fulfillment. The promise which he had made need to grow in an environment where it is conducive to the way God is leading you. People of God, cast out the bondwoman and her son.